Hey, good morning. Morning world. Morning walk episode 46, and decided to mix it up a little bit this morning because it's kind of early in the year and people are taking their long holidays, including at my local cafe. So I've decided to mix it up and I'm walking my walk the opposite direction to usual. This is actually kind of sad. What am I supposed to do now? I was lying in bed this morning and not the easiest to get up, I must admit. You can see it's not the prettiest day out here. It's kind of grey, and I sort of had this idea of like walking this normal walk in the opposite direction, because I was thinking, you've now been watching 45 episodes, you've kind of seen a lot of the same stuff. It's all becoming quite familiar, but this time going the opposite direction you get to see something new, so I wanted to share that with you. One of the first things I've noticed actually is just how many signs there are everywhere that tell us not to do things. Whether it's like no walking, no entry, no parking. It's like there's a lot of this kind of negativity being like, don't do that, not allowed to do this. It's just kind of all around us. I never thought about that before, but even though it's subtle, I really wonder how much, that kind of negativity and messages telling us that we shouldn't be doing things and can't do particular things actually impacts our lives. There's definitely part of the brain that recognizes all these signals and accumulates them. When you're constantly being told that you can't do something, over time it actually becomes real for us. Here we go. So I might be walking my morning walk in the opposite direction this morning. Spiders are out. Fun. I'm actually going to do the right thing by this guy this morning, or this girl. I'm going to go underneath. Just leave her alone. Actually, here we go. This is something you don't get to see when you're walking in the other direction, but this is a big bike jump. Woo! Can't really sense from there about how wide that is, but it's pretty big. Come, Pixie, come! Good girl. Free! What are you eating, Pixie? Oh dear. Pixie's eating kangaroo poo. Oh no. Sometimes I worry about my dog. That's disgusting. One of the things that's definitely true is that way too many of us place way too much emphasis on the external validation of other people, rather than just kind of being motivated by what works for us and how we feel about various things and being intrinsically motivated. It's not an easy thing to get a handle on, I suppose. 12 months ago, God, I was having a really rough time. Probably the worst I've ever felt. We'd run into a bit of trouble with, in fact, both of our businesses, which is kind of the main business, Aim Overseas, which has been running for over 11 years. I know we just stuffed up some calculations and suddenly realised that we lost a lot of money for this one particular period of time. And it was super stressful because, with a dozen employees or so, kind of made you realise that a lot of people are dependent on this organisation for their day-to-day existence. And basically, if you run out of money, God, the last thing I really want to think about is having to shutter a business. That would be really tough. And then the other business as well, the Global Society, was still in a kind of fairly early phase and needed to pivot pretty urgently because just the business model we had wasn't really good, or at least wasn't going to be sustainable. And man, I just hit this period that I think I've just been accumulating all of this stress. Hadn't really been talking to anyone about it, and I remember just sitting at work this one day and just suddenly realizing that I was at my limit and being like, wow, I'm stuffed. You know, I hadn't taken enough time for myself, and fortunately I got a awesome wife, great boss, and you know, she came pick me up and took me home. It wasn't good, right? Now, 12 months later, everything's going awesome. You know, we've had our best ever year with AIM overseas, sent more students than ever on overseas study programs. Global Society is absolutely rocking it. You know, new model has been really well taken up by people, and that's going to have a fantastic year. And it's just amazing what a huge difference 12 months can make. And I think that's one of the important things, right, is that you can always turn things around. Even if today seems like a shitty day, and you know things are heavy on your heart, and you know your head is all messed up with cobwebs, don't let it pull you all the way down, because you can always turn things around. And there is such an enormous difference between today and where you will be in 12 months time. Just like, you know, 12 months ago, like I had my back to the wall, super stressed out, and now, like, life is amazing. Everything is temporary. Because that's the thing, remember that everything is temporary. Sometimes it is just about shifting your perspective and realizing that if you do your morning walk in the opposite direction, things look pretty different. I normally don't have to walk up this hill. Normally I would walk down it. Shifting your perspective has both ups. Yeah. Now this is incredible, right? I've literally been walking this trail every day for, I don't know, a couple of years now. And I've never seen this little side trail, because it's kind of like angled back. I find that really hard to believe. Unless it's just literally been opened. I'm gonna go check it out, that's for sure. All these spider webs out. I'm glad I wasn't out before dawn. Imagine coughing. Coughing like 10 of those in the face. That wouldn't be a good start to the morning. Well, I've had a spectacular morning walk, considering I didn't even really want to get out of bed this morning. But I've seen my entire morning routine from a completely different perspective, literally in reverse. Had an awesome coffee, seen the beautiful side of spider webs, which is like this misty rain hanging off them. And yeah, had a pretty important realization there. Doesn't matter what point in your life you are, you've still got a lifetime ahead. And that all starts today. Anyway, handful of thoughts for you on this misty, rainy, grey Sydney day. Whatever you're getting up to, I hope it's a good one. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on the morning walk. Cheerio.